Well, Diana and Stephen, they held the service here at the Southfield Parks and Recreation Department because this is where Helen Gale was a longtime employee up until she was killed. She was still very active despite her age, coordinating dances and concerts for everybody here in the area. You could count 100 or so people in the room at any one time tonight, paying tribute to the 81-year-old who was murdered over the weekend. Now, the service started with people telling their favorite Helen story, including the mayor who got up and spoke, and so did a few co-workers. Those who knew her best called her a hip lady who loved life and the arts, and she was known around her neighborhood as having the meticulous yard on the block, and she began flying in her friend's plane just a few years ago. She loved being the passenger to go visit her daughter who had moved to Holland, Michigan. She's also survived by 3 grandchildren and a second daughter who came in from California. So that gives you an idea just how active she was. Her friends saying they will cherish her.
She had the bearing of true royalty with none of the heirs.
You could pick a restaurant out of a hat and go there, and she would end up saying hello to 14 different people during the course of a meal. She just knew everybody and was every place.
Police still don't have a killer in custody, and that's where you come in. We sat down with her daughters tonight, and they are hoping that somebody out there saw their mother's car the day she was killed.
I'm just waiting to wake up from a freaking nightmare, basically.
And it's just a fog. You can't, I don't even know how to put that to words.
Stephanie Johnson and Nancy Gale hope someone watching saw their mother's 4-door silver Honda Accord the day she died and can help catch her killer or killers.
For anyone that knows anything, please realize this is our mother and this amazing woman and a human being who was taken in the most ruthless, horrific way.
81-year-old Helen Gale's body was found burned beyond recognition in the back seat of her silver Honda, abandoned in an alley in Highland Park. The car was still on fire when firefighters arrived, and Gale had to be identified by her dental records. It's believed she was murdered the Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving. The last time her daughter spoke with her was that Friday night around 7:30.
Everything was perfectly fine. Yeah, we just talked about the holidays and what she did that day, and she was just resting and watching TV and going to sleep.
Police found evidence of a struggle and assault inside Gale's Southfield home and believe her killers drove the car from Southfield to Highland Park. There were no signs of forced entry at the home, and both daughters say their mother never would have opened the door to a stranger.
If she had any inkling of a connection with someone, though, she would talk to them through the door. But she was very cautious and very smart about her safety.
Up until she was killed, Gale was still very active, working part-time for the city of Southfield in the Parks and Recreation Department. That's where she had been a longtime employee.
She was still working at 81. She was still flying in small airplanes. She would go to the symphony. She was out. I mean, she puts all of us to shame in the energy she had in her life.
Again tonight, her daughter's hoping that somebody out there, a viewer, saw that Honda on the day that their mother was killed, and they want you to call the police department. We're live in Southfield. Julie Bondovich, 7 Action News.
Yeah, so many of our viewers have been horrified by this crime. Do police have any kind of leads at all that you know of?
Not so far, and that's the one thing that makes this so difficult. They do believe she was attacked in her home, but from there, that's where everybody else watching comes in.
Right, Julie, thank you for the report, and we certainly hope somebody can help. You can find the latest information on Helen Gale's murder and leave your comments for the family on WXYZ.com. Just go to the Oakland County section and click right there on the link.